say some days you're gonna win. They say some days you're gonna lose. I tell you, I got news for you. You're losing all the time, you never win. No, if you believe that's how it's gonna be, I better put you down. Get up, you take your book, and come down on the ground. You gotta save me now. You better turn around. And I looked around, I was heading down. Oh, somebody throw me down the line. This is some days you gotta give. This is some days you gotta take. That's the way it's gotta be. Roll it over and you will see. The city streets are full of people going nowhere making time.
Wednesday. My sinuses are still killing me. But we still got a good show. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show right here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV. Thanks for hanging out with me, whether you do it live or on demand. Man, just so many great guests the last couple of weeks, and that continues. Centerstone joins us this Wednesday, as it is the first Wednesday of May. Always looking forward to talking with them. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're going to get the latest from Aaron and Jennifer. Then at 10:35, we're talking all things Clementine's Ice Creamery, and going to just have a really good time with that interview, too. They've been featured on a lot of national programs and really just a great asset to the Riverbend region. At 9:09, here's what you need to know. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update where you'll never miss out, and you can join myself and 70,000 people that get their daily dose of local news, local sports, and national and statewide news from our friends at the Associated Press. We'll take you right to St. Clair County and Madison County both first. Illinois State Police Troop 8 recently conducted those roadside safety checks across Madison and St. Clair counties, leading to a total of 78 citations and arrests. These include 1 DUI citation, 11 other alcohol or drug-related violations, 21 occupant restraint offenses, 21 registration offenses, 21 driver license offenses, and 12 insurance violations. In addition, 25 written warnings were issued. Alcohol and drug impairment remains major concerns, contributing to over 47% of fatal motor vehicle crashes in Illinois. These safety checks aim to reduce traffic fatalities by removing impaired drivers from the roads. The initiative, funded by the Illinois Department of Transportation. Also in the news today, the Carden Circus is set to amaze audiences in Jerseyville on May 27th and in Highland on May the 29th. It offers a great show filled with motorcycle stunts, archery, aerialists, and animal acts managed by Arlene Carden, the fifth-generation circus leader. The event promises an unforgettable experience for all ages. Attendees are encouraged to arrive early for pre-show activities like face painting and even camel rides, plus photos with some of the circus performers. The 2.5-hour performance features a unique glow-in-the-dark theme designed to captivate the entire family, and tickets start at just $9.99 with free admission for children under 2. For more details, you can visit glowcircus.com or just wait for the interview that comes out in a couple of weeks right here on our daily show. The Landmark Illinois has announced its 2025 Most Endangered Historic Places list, highlighting 10 culturally and architecturally significant sites facing various threats such as neglect, vacancy, demolition, and deferred maintenance. These endangered locations span multiple counties, including Cook, DuPage, and St. Clair, featuring landmarks like the Spivey Building in East St. Louis and the Chicago Vocational High School, along with the Allen Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Lincoln. The organization emphasizes the importance of preserving these sites to protect Illinois' diverse cultural heritage. Additionally, a new watch list designation monitors federally owned buildings vulnerable to sale and redevelopment. Landmark Illinois continues to keep its dedication to saving places that matter by raising awareness such as these lists and fostering preservation efforts statewide. That's a look at what's happening around the Riverbend this morning. Kind of a lighter news day for the team upstairs. They needed it. They've been busy. And really what I think's great, before we go into weather, if you haven't had a chance yet, there's been some really great teacher spotlights that the team's been a part of, and really a great time as it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and seeing all of the great educators around the 618 and in the Riverbend region getting highlighted. It's really been cool, and the team upstairs has been doing a great job of putting all those together. So if you have a chance, go ahead and check those out, as they have been some of our most viewed stories in the 618 this week. Let's look at weather today. At 64 degrees. It feels like 67 today. Some sun, then turns cloudy with the shower in the area later on tonight. Mainly cloudy, but watch for a couple showers and a thunderstorm potentially later on this evening. Right now, air quality is at 52, which is moderate. Grass is moderate. Mold is low. Ragweed and tree levels are both moderate today, too. Definitely a Claritin day. I already took mine. It ain't helping. Today, temperatures reach 69 degrees and drop down to 55 overnight as we head into Thursday. There's still a chance of rain on Thursday, a high of 71, a low of 47 degrees as we head into Friday. On Friday, partly sunny skies, a high of 67 degrees and a low of 44 as we head into Saturday. And on Saturday, when you're sampling and strolling and grafting, a high of 74 and a low of 51 degrees. On Sunday, we're going to see Mother's Day have temperatures near 80 degrees. The sun will be out, no clouds in the sky, and a low of 60 degrees as we head into Monday. That's a look at the next 5. Here's what's happening right now. 64 degrees at 9:14. It feels like 67 out there, humidity at 80%. For time and temperature throughout the day, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, Return Home. Hey, while I have you, let me fill you in on Hainer Library, and we'll keep this show moving. You know, Hainer Library is all about bringing something to the table for everybody. You've heard Mary on the show multiple times. Their programs are filling up. So if you see something that you're interested in, make sure you're calling and registering, and it just shows that need for really the family and the learning events that are taking place and activities all throughout the Hainer Library District. Plus, it doesn't just start and end with events and books like the traditional library route. They're really doing some great things like the Seed Library. You know, the other day we were talking about our Home Depot bills, and man, it was just getting a little ridiculous. Why didn't we just go to the Seed Library right over at Hainer down the road here? You can get native seeds right there for your garden, and you just take them back and use them. It's really a great thing. Plus, that library of things, summer's coming down the pipeline, and you're going to need some outdoor activities to do with your family and all that great stuff. Why didn't you stop by Hainer? I mean, think about it. All the different activities they have. I know they have like can jam and all these wonderful kind of barbecue picnic games that you can do all summer long, and it's all there with your Hainer Library card. Just go to the website, click on the How Do I tab, click on the Get a Library Card tab, put your address in, and you're good to go, and you're able to use all those resources at Hainer Library. Don't forget to tell them that CJ sent you over their way at HainerLibrary.org. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with more Daily Show right after a couple of commercials on this Wednesday morning. And man, I just keep hoping that my sinuses get better. You know what I'm saying here?
Coming down is the hardest thing.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Said you're so good. They couldn't see and they just didn't understand. And looking in the mirror, there were fools at either hand. You shine a light on my life. You shine a light on my life. You shine a light on my life. And let me see.
Welcome back, 9:16. A little bit of change on this Wednesday morning. It's the 23rd day of April. I need a Claritin. Teresa. And hold on, can I tell you? So Teresa and I have been on a little bit of a journey because I was going on vacation whenever I was talking to you, and I had things getting delivered, and well, the stove got in there.
Oh, good.
The couch did not.
Uh-oh.
It's been a nightmare.
Would it not fit through the door?
I did not measure it correctly, and I should have taken the professional's word for it, but I did one better. You know what you should do whenever your couch doesn't fit the first time? You go to lunch and you grab your boss and you say, you know what, I think we should move this couch. And I think they're doing something wrong here. So we decided to go try for ourselves and see that it did not fit. But let me tell you something. I was at the Midwest furniture store over there with Ashley and all that in the Pie Saw Center. They were really nice about it. Really, they took it back after, we tried our best with it. And, they got me a new couch coming in Thursday. So I really...
Oh, my God.
The stove works great, though. I am proud of the stove.
Good.
So,
lessons learned.
So, we were talking about this, though, and this is such an important event to talk about. On May the 3rd, this is the 3rd annual Bereaved Mother's Day event.
Yes.
And, Teresa, let's kind of dive right into, why this event came to be and its origin story, if you will.
Sure. I'll make it short. So I started this event. Actually, a friend reached out to me and said, will you send this out to your community? I had already been doing a podcast for 2 years. And so I had a community of women that had experienced infertility or loss of a child during pregnancy. And so she reached out. She said, can you promote this? And I said, yeah, but hold on. I would like to co-host this with you.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about doing the same thing. So we partnered that first year. It was small that first year. There was like 15 women there, but it was still beautiful. It's all about women connecting together and forming relationships with other women that have experienced loss. So it was beautiful. The next year I expanded. Doing it myself, I expanded to a bigger space and added more things to it. Last year we had about 24, 25 people, and this year, the 3rd annual, we're moving to a bigger space.
Good.
Not so much that we need a bigger space, because I do want to keep it small and intimate. And so what we're looking for is 25 women that will come together that have experienced a loss of a child. Well, and pregnancy included.
Well, and see, I think that's one of those things too, and we talked about it on the phone, a couple of, that's one of those where you need an intimate kind of, setting, and you don't, especially for what, you're going through a loss that you're never going, to recover from. And that's just, and it's really an inspiring event too. And take me through the first couple of years and just some of the sights and sounds of it, if you could.
Yeah. Well, I'll share the first year, and then I'll let Luina share a little bit about the second year since she experienced that. The first year we came together, of course, it was a brunch we did a painting exercise, and a big part of it was just the women sharing their story and connecting with each other. We presented all the women with a rose, took their picture. It's really about honoring these women that have endured a lot. They've experienced a lot, and the connections, like I said before. And then the second year, you can share, Luina, how you got connected and what you thought of the second year.
I actually got connected from Jill, who was a lady. We both experienced child loss, and we had already done about 3 different child loss support groups together. And so she invited me to come over. I came over, and it was just such a welcoming environment, just a lot of women cheering and supporting each other. We, cute icebreaker. It just sticks out in my mind. I got Barbie. Somebody else had Ken. So that's how we got together. My favorite part was the horticulture, where you just made your own little flower banquet. That's what I'm trying to say.
Arrangement.
There we go. Help me out, Teresa. Mental block. But it was really, really beautiful. And just hearing the stories and everybody sharing together was very healing and encouraging.
Well, I'm sure, and especially too, being in a setting like that, it seems it just, from what I could gather, from my, out, because I don't know the experience of this, would be, the actual connection that is shared amongst the individuals in the group, because it's a true shared lived experience.
And it's interesting because the women that come together, they're not all have the exact same experience. The children are all different ages. The time of their experience could have been within the year. It could have been 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Right.
But there's still those connections, and women do come. Like last year, I had a couple women that their child loss was probably 15 to 20 years.
That's what I was going to ask you.
They still need that support and that connection. So
what I really liked, I met one lady there, and when she talked about just miscarrying and not even giving space to that, and then just, moving on with life, and then later realized how traumatic, that time was that she didn't give space to. So it's really eye-opening, I think, a lot of times when we get into this grief and we're thinking about miscarries or terminations, medically induced terminations and all those kind of things are just as important.
Yeah. And the piece that Luina just talked about, doing those floral arrangements, the botanical gardens, I'll give them a little plug. They do that. It's very therapeutic and it's beautiful. So someone had suggested I reach out to them, and I did. And so they came last year, and that seemed to be one of the most favorite parts because you're doing this arrangement and you're still talking and having conversation with other women. So it's just very therapeutic. It's beautiful. So they're coming back this year. Yeah. So they might be with us indefinitely, however long we do this, they'll probably be with us.
It's such a beautiful experience because the lady there, her whole face lights up when she talks about these flowers and how to arrange them, and there's no right or wrong thing, so nobody got anything wrong, and we all come out with these beautiful masterpieces that we made ourselves, So.
Beautiful.
Well, and with that being said too, it's self-care, the floral arrangement, there's going to be a butterfly release too, correct?
Yes.
And take me through the lineup of events, because this is a good a good part of the day, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. You're getting a lot of the event out of this in Todd Hall Retreat and Conference in Columbia. Where's that kind of at?
It's, I would say it's between, it is between Columbia and Waterloo and Millstadt. So it's kind of in the middle of those two communities. But really, you go through Columbia, and as you're going out of Columbia, you get on 158, and I would say it's a half a mile, a quarter of a mile on 158. So it's way before you get to Millstadt. And there's 45 acres there.
Oh, wow.
So
It's
that's
a beautiful place.
what I love is the acreage. So much healing happens within nature if people are in nature. I talk
She
about this
loves
all the
nature.
time. I do love nature. There's so much healing. Maybe because I grew up on a farm, out in nature. That's why I love it.
Okay, that's fair.
But we're going to start the day. Well, we're thinking about that same icebreaker because the women really did like it. It is.
You know?
And what's beautiful about that is for me to watch. I didn't even know all of the women, but to see how they pair together. With me not doing it, them just picking a piece of paper and then pairing together with someone was beautiful. Those connections. So we'll start with an icebreaker. We have a couple of speakers. I have Dina Wolf coming in, and she's going to do a talk on self-care. Because women, we don't always like to take care of ourselves. We like to take care of everyone else. And with grief, self-care is
Feeling judged here.
super important. Then Luana will share her story of navigating grief. She experienced the loss of her son. And so she'll share about that. We're going to have a beautiful lunch. And then we'll have like a self-care restoration and self-care kind of thing where we'll have I have people coming in that are going to do nails, makeup, refresh, skincare. We're going to do chair massages. So it's really about pampering these women that are coming.
That's incredible.
We're also doing those breakouts just in case anybody needed a little extra support with Teresa being a grief coach and myself being a therapist, so we're there to provide that as well.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's really important, too, because, especially like, Teresa, you said earlier something that was interesting, because I had a group on yesterday, Mothers Unique, that, helps recently, bereaved mothers that lost, a child and make sure they can assist them some way financially. Yeah. And, we were talking about some of the meetings they're having and some of the folks that have joined and, like you said, 15 years, or 10, after, your child's passed away. And honestly, it's great to see, for some people out there that maybe have never really talked about it and maybe it's still on their mind. This is a great opportunity, especially with that professional side of things too, with breakouts and your qualifications, that you could really have that day to truly dive into it if you're willing to or ready to.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I would love a connection to them.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We need to talk to them.
Oh yeah, we'll hook you up with Mothers Unique for sure. The great group. And so if you're just tuning into to the conversation, we'll have this available online in about 11:30 today. The Bereaved Mother's Day event is Saturday, May the 3rd. It's at Todd Hall Retreat and Conference Center, 320 Todd Center Drive in Columbia. And the cost to this, I'm going to be honest with you, I was kind of thinking, $150 to $200 because of just, it's you're looking at 8 hours almost or 4 to, you're looking at a good chunk of change here, and all these different opportunities to kind of relax, take it and make it a self-care day and really just taking care of a mom, $35, or if you want to add on that grief breathwork session, correct?
Yeah.
That's $45.
Yes.
That's really affordable for this.
Yes.
Very much so. And I've always, from the very beginning, wanted it to be very affordable. So there's some sponsorships that are happening. The Anderson the Share Group at Anderson Hospital is a sponsor, and some of my speakers are also sponsoring, providing food, so that's a less cost. I think really what the gals are kind of paying for is that floral arrangement, pretty much, and the butterfly release at the end of the day. I'm hoping in the future that I can get plenty of sponsors to cover the whole thing for women, but we do know that sometimes we need to put some money there or we're not going to show up.
Yeah,
so
you got to have some skin in the game.
That's
sometimes,
right.
But Teresa has a heart for the community, a heart for helping people as well as myself. So we do a lot of opportunities to give back to others and pro bono type work, So, but that's really her heart. So all the things you see is her. That's who she is. You know, she wants to take care of them and just hold space for that moment, you know.
Well, and, you know, I wanted to, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break here because I have to pay a couple of bills, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more. I'm really excited to learn more about the breakout sessions, too, and all, and how we can use your services and what the conversations can kind of look like, or how they even start for some people if they haven't had those yet. You know, before we take that quick break, let me fill you in on my friends at OSF Healthcare. They're truly our partner, not only healthcare and medicine, but also just in the community. You see their banners up at Gordon Moore Park and all of the spots around the 618, and that's because, you know, they're not only with us every step of the way for our healthcare, they're also here for us in the community and bringing innovative care closer to home and just wanting us to be a part of their neighborhood. You know, St. Anthony's Health Centers offers you everything you need for your healthcare journey, all in one trusted place. You know what I told you about the other day? My grandma needed to go to prompt care, urgent care, so we went to one on Godfrey Road. Well, urgent care ain't so urgent anymore. You got to wait for 4 hours when nobody's in the waiting room. So what we decided to do was just head on over to OSF's prompt care office. They took her. She was in and out faster than you could even blink, and they had her taken care of. She was feeling better within a couple of days, and they treated her like their own. And you know what? They'll do the same for you. OSFhealthcare.org. See all the new innovative ways that they're bringing in, that wound care clinic, some of the ways they're treating diabetes and cardiovascular health, breast health, rehabilitation, and so much more. That cutting-edge technology and compassionate touch at OSFhealthcare.org. Don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over. Get over here their way.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching the signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us.
9:33. Welcome back to Our Daily Show. We were just, quick commercial break for you guys. I told you it was a quick one.
I was ready to get up.
Well, we were getting ready to take pictures. I have a soda exploding on me in the studio this morning, and this keyboard is absolutely ruined. So we're gonna have to go up to the tech center in just a couple of minutes here. But we're getting back to this conversation about the Bereaved Mother's Day event. It's the 3rd annual one. It keeps on growing. Hosted by Teresa Reiniger, Living After Grief, and really Todd Hall Retreat and Conference Center, 45 acres in Columbia, where you can be part of it Saturday, May the 3rd, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. for $35. I mean, going back to that, I just love the cost point of that because I really expected, $150, $200.
Yeah. The value is there for it to be that.
It really is. Yeah.
These are women though that I always want to pamper them.
Yeah.
I want to honor them.
Yeah.
For what they've endured. And so to be able to keep the price low for them is going to always be my goal.
Well, and we were talking about the breakout sessions a little bit and wanted to kind of dive more into those. What are those going to look and sound like? And then also too, if we could, and just a follow up, just before we get into the meat of the conversation, if someone's never had that conversation and maybe they don't know how to approach it because they just put it away and they move forward because, women are strong and they, keep marching along. So what would that sound like?
To do the breakout session?
To do the breakout session first.
With Wayne and I, it's really those women that continue to be strong, and we do want to be strong for other people, or to just push it down and avoid it. We know as people professionals that work with them, it will surface.
Right.
You can hold it only down so long. And I a lot of times use the analogy of like a beach ball and trying to hold a beach ball underwater.
Right.
You can only hold it there a certain length of time, and then it's going to pop up and who knows where it's going to go. So grief affects every aspect of your life. And so we want to make sure that once we talk to people, you can determine where it's affecting them the most. And for me, you can speak to you, but that's where I dive in first. Like, is it affecting your relationship? Is it affecting your career? Is it affecting your spiritual life, your health? I mean, it affects every area. And people don't many times even realize how it has affected them.
Yeah.
I belong to a support group, and one of the gals last night said, I'm crabby and I'm on edge, and I don't even realize sometimes until I sit for a minute that it's the grief. Like, it's close to a date when she experienced the loss of her child, and her husband will say, well, do you know what today is? Right. And so it might have been for them 8 years ago, but those dates still, they're in us. Grief is within our body, and we may not even know the calendar day, but our body knows. Our body holds that grief.
Yeah, we like to say the body keeps the score, right?
The body does keep the score. It's a great book.
For me, the journey of grief, sometimes I could connect with my own journey with grief because when you're sharing your story, there's healing involved, Absolutely. So I may just start throwing out things that I did, in the first loss, weeks, months after my son died. And they are like, oh, I can see, or, oh, I can resonate with that, or, oh, I'm going through that right now. So I think for me, that lived experience is my connection in a lot of the times.
Do you think the lived experience and that shared connecting point, do you think that could be one of the most priceless things when it comes to having these conversations? Because that's why I really think that this event, just from my I guess my empathetic approach to this, because I can't sympathize with this situation, that it would have to be a connected piece to truly get to a healing point, because you have someone that truly understands where you're coming from.
Yeah, that can work either way though. Sometimes
really?
Because they might be because maybe my grief may be too triggering, or my experience might be too triggering,
now,
and it may
true.
take that professional side of just validating them and more listening and more support.
Yeah.
And in the listening, I think we both as professionals, we can see the pattern, where it leads to, of hope and healing, and where it stemmed from, maybe some of that grief too. But it's just meeting the person where they are, because we're all different and unique,
That we are, and our grief is very different and unique. Even if there are two people that lost a child at age 3, maybe in the same thing, we'll just say, I got, hopefully not, but car accidents, they're the same 3-year-old car accident, but the grief in both of those women and parents and families is totally different because their relationship with each other and that child were different. So
true.
Grief is very, very unique. And I think a lot of times with society, we want to compare our grief.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
A big mistake.
That's
right there,
very
is
true.
Don't compare.
Yeah, I fell victim to that myself. My sister had lost her husband. It's been about 10 years, and she is still not through it. And I'm like, gosh, it's been 5 years. Come on, now let's get back in life. But going through my own loss of losing my son, I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I didn't give you enough, grace and enough understanding and support doing that, And it was such a violent way too. So, so that PTSD and everything,
Yeah. Well, and see, I think that's such a really important thing to note because you're right. I mean, in society, we really, look at Facebook and all that, and you can't tell me we don't compare grief or, or in some ways, and I don't want to accuse us of doing this intentionally, but in an unintentional way, we almost live for, some people almost live for that kind of social media,
drama.
For that. Yeah, and I hate to say drama, but almost that validation that they're heard, where it's, the thoughts and prayers, but I won't tell you, or, if it's going to be, here's what happened to me, yesterday and, this has been going on, is it because you really want the world to know or is it because you just want to feel heard? And that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm not a professional here.
Both. Yeah, I'm like, I would agree. Both. Yeah.
People definitely want to be heard.
Yeah, definitely seeking some validation in their experiences and, and just some support that they may not find with the people closest to them.
That's true.
So,
this is why this is going to be such a great event. Really all day long, this is what it's going to look like. And when do the breakout sessions start? And what's the grief breathwork session?
That's amazing. And so Luena and I both experienced that. I do a retreat, and that is a higher cost ticket item. I do a retreat, a whole weekend retreat. And we experience the breath work, the grief breath work at that event. A great friend of mine, Dina Wolf, presents that. It will be after the event is over at 3. If people want to stay and do that, there is an additional cost for that, but it is amazing, that experience. So you have headsets on where you're listening to all kinds of prompts, and it's taking you through some deep breathing. And she even said, if anybody follows me on social media, I posted a video of her and I. It's really, while you're going through that, the talking piece of that, it's affirmations, it's sounds, it's all kinds of things that are so healing while you're doing this breathing. But in the middle of it, it takes you to a place to really have a visual with your loved one, which is super powerful. And it releases a lot of grief within you as you walk through this experience. So it's an amazing experience, an amazing thing to be a part of and do. We've experienced it. I've actually experienced it twice, and I will do it again.
There's so much healing when everybody gets done, though. They're like, wow.
Yes.
I didn't think I was holding anything in,
Oh, and you are.
Okay.
So,
I know I am.
Well, with that being said, too, when do the breakout sessions take place during the course of the day?
So they'll be, we'll do lunch, and then I think right after lunch we'll do that floral arrangement, and then it's towards the end of the day. Because everybody will kind of separate it. We kind of stay together at the beginning for some talks, and then we'll do that towards the end of the day. So people can then, they've kind of connected with people, but during that time they can really connect and have conversation while they're moving about to different breakouts, different things, whatever they feel they need to do. And I want to make sure that I also talk about, during that time, we talked about chair massage, like essential oil skincare. Connie, my good friend Connie Rose, she's also going to be there with a device that she can do inner voice scans.
Oh, wow.
So this is very interesting. We hold our emotions in our vocal cords. Wow. And so when you speak words, she has a device that can I guess, tell you what emotions are being held when you're speaking in your vocal cords.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
that's incredible.
I haven't seen
that's
this
like
yet,
actually
so I'm waiting
incredible.
for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
she might get me caught up a little bit though. So I get a little misty.
It gives you then frequencies. She will send you those frequencies to listen to on a daily basis to help with the emotional healing.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that's going to be.
And that's included in the ticket price?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have some good friends that help around me and support me so that are willing to come together.
Friend,
So before I let you go, because we're running out of time here, let's overview the event one last time. The Bereaved Mother's Day event, the 3rd annual, May the 3rd. It's going to be at Columbia at the Todd Hall Retreat and Conference Center, 320 Todd Center Drive, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 3rd of May, $35 in that grief breathwork session. If I do get paid to do my job, $45 of an add-on cost, 4 to 5 p.m. afterwards.
Yes.
But one last time, if you could, let's overview this, and we'll put a nice bow on this conversation.
Yeah. So reach out to me, social media, Living After Grief, or just really that event is under my name, which is Teresa Werner, maiden name Reiniger. Or just go to livingaftergrief.com/bereaved Mother's Day. And you can get a link, or if that's not working for you, just find me or Luana on social media and we can get you registered for that event.
Really cool.
Pretty easy.
And where can we find your podcast?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about podcasting. Luana and I do a podcast, so I do a podcast for 5 years. It's now been rebranded multiple times as I've grown in my business and minister to other women. It is now, Luana joined me in January, and we are now Female Voices, Life and Loss.
That's really cool. Where can we find this?
Wherever you listen to
podcasts.
podcasts.
So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and we're on all of them.
Apple, Spotify.
Yep.
Really cool.
All the stations.
We'll make sure to add that to the article as well in the write-up on this. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Before we take a quick break, are you looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addictions possible? And it starts at our friends at Centerstone. You know, they're a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, and with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. Their dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you and it's based on the latest science. Listen, it's 2025. We got to get over this. Addiction can happen to anybody, but the good news is so can recovery, and it might not be for you. This information could be for your loved one. I hope you gather this information as they join us on the first and last Wednesday of each and every month as we tackle all of the important resources and programs that are within their network. You can learn more at centerstone.org.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles.
Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:01, Tuesday morning, Alton Main Street. We were just talking about a tsunami is the proper term.
Here comes event season, yes, sir.
Sarah, how's life treating you?
Pretty good, actually.
Well, honestly, it's so cool because we've been having so many people that are, vendors at the farmers market that are just kind of gearing up, and to hear their preparations is really exciting too.
It really is. It sounds cliche, but we really are a big family down there. We miss each other in the off season so much. So during the whole month leading up to it, the emails or messages are all flying. Everybody's really excited, making new products for the year, and it's just really a cool thing.
Well, you guys developed something really special though down there on the riverfront. For real though, when it comes to the artisan and farmers market, I mean that's really become such a big one around the region.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, we maxed out at I think 163 vendors on a Saturday last year, which is the biggest it's ever been. When we, I've been around for 19 years now, and when we first, got going, it was just maybe 10 vendors in a tiny little parking lot, and we kept outgrowing the space we were in over and over and moving to a bigger location. And now we're about in the biggest parking lot in the entire district, and we are filling that up too. So
it's really cool, and that's such a great look though in the morning when you're getting in and out of Alton and making your trips in the summer, and it's really just a great thing. And what I like is how you vet your vendors too, because no matter what, I mean everyone that's coming in is really just the perfect fit for what your guys' mission is.
Yeah, we are truly a farmers and artisans market. Everything sold has to be handmade or homegrown by the person operating the booth. So no reselling or wholesaling. It's all, you get to talk to the person who made or grew exactly what you're buying.
And also, you guys have your free, fresh, and new logo, which is awesome.
Thank you so much. That was, people hear like rebranding and strategic planning and they think it sounds boring. But my gosh, it was fun for me. I absolutely loved it.
So there was a lot of touches to all of the districts really incorporated into the thought of this.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple of great graphic designers on our board of directors, which really led the whole process. So thanks to Lisa and Jacob for guiding us through this whole thing. But they did such a good job of, really understanding the culture of the district. And we really love the way it turned out.
It really is cool. And, when does the farmers market start?
We always get going on Mother's Day weekend. So that is Saturday, May 10th this year, this weekend.
Okay. All right, we're moving. It's wild to me. It's Easter being pushed back as late as it was, I think, threw off my summer summer vibe already. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and there's a lot of really good stuff planned within the farmers market. I know you do like the dog carnival once a year and have really cool specialty events. When you kick it off, what's it look like?
Yeah, we've got something special going on each week of the 24-week season.
Wow.
And on Mother's Day weekend, you can come down and make a DIY letterpress Mother's Day card for your mom.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know about your mom, but my mom would rather have a homemade card than anything else, any other gift on the planet. So come down that morning and you can make one for free right there at our information booth. And we've also got live music from the Alton High School Jazz Combo. So that'll be cool.
They're really good. They are really good. Have you heard? They were at the Jazz and Wine Festival playing last year. It was awesome.
Very cool.
Kind of made me jealous.
Young
though.
kids are talented.
Yeah, made me jealous though. So every Saturday it's 8 to noon.
8 a.m. until noon every Saturday through October 18th.
And what are some of the like FAQs when it comes to parking? Because I mean, jokes aside, you guys have really become such a prominent place to be. It seems like parking could be challenging for folks, or maybe for folks that have never gone before.
Yeah, well, it is a little bit at a premium. But like I said, we're at the biggest parking lot in the district. So at this point, it is what it is. I would recommend get there early for sure, or always just take another loop around. Somebody's always coming and going. People are only there for a half hour to an hour, so they're always turning over real quickly. But honestly, we have a lot of people now that are starting to park across Henry, where Great Central Lumber is, and even down at the amphitheater parking lots. It's a nice stroll, right there, walk on the riverfront, and as long as you're not carrying a huge watermelon or something like that, just carry your bags back to your car.
Or you get a wagon.
That has definitely been a key for a lot of people, especially if you have kids or dogs. I have a lot of people that just pull all of their gear right in.
Really?
Yes. A lot of people, too, from the Middletown area are just walking across the pedestrian bridge and coming down to visit.
See, now that's what I would do. Yeah. That's exactly what I would do, is do the pedestrian bridge and walk on back. Now, when it comes to going in, you guys tank leak, don't you?
We what?
Do you take link at the farmers market?
Oh, yeah, we sure
That's
do.
what I wanted to make sure of. And then, is there any other just kind of FAQs for the public to know about that we need to refresh them on before we start talking about specialty days?
Well, definitely, we would love to get the word out more about the link and SNAP that's formerly known as food stamps.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. Yeah, we've accepted SNAP for, about 15 years now. And for about the past 10 years, we've gotten a grant to double the buying power of SNAP dollars. So all you have to do is come down to the info booth and swipe your card. Let us know how much you would like to spend. If you say, I probably want to spend about, $50 today, you swipe 25 and we give you 50 off of your benefits. So yeah, it's a really great program to get, fresh, healthy food on people's plates.
Well, and it's really such a need too, because, that healthy option seems like such a far stretch away for so many people. So to have that is it's really nice.
Oh, absolutely. When people's grocery budget is stretched, usually the first thing that gets cut is fresh fruits and veggies. Yeah. So we would like to change that.
Schnucks is getting ready to add Rocket Mortgage lines to all the checkouts, so that way you can refinance on the way.
Oh my gosh.
So, with that being said, one of my favorite events, which I am now calling a staple event, is the pub crawl.
Oh,
I am telling you, it's so full, and I think it's so cool to see all the folks out there with their their dogs, and it seems like every one of them, all the dogs act better than the people.
Oh gosh, yeah, we have some well-behaved dogs down there for sure. That actually came out of a public survey that we did about 5 years ago.
Really?
People were mentioning over and over in their responses that they would like more things to go do out on the town with their pets. And that is how two of our events came to be. The Pup Crawl, that's happening on May 31st this year. We've got, I believe, 18 or 19 stops where you can go and take your pet around, all pet-friendly patios. And also, we have a regular traditional pub crawl route with about 10 different taverns and bars and restaurants. But we also have a family-friendly route because we have a half a dozen different retailers and Jacoby Art Center and Riverbend Yoga. All of these establishments are opening their doors to pets that day. So you can start at the farmer's market and take the whole family and your fuzzy friend all around the district to visit all these stops. And then we've also got the Canine Carnival that happens at the farmer's market.
Is that the same day?
That is going to be on October 4th.
That's what I thought it was in the fall.
Yeah, we try to get them on the beginning and end of the season so it's not too hot outside for the dog paws on the concrete and everything,
Really cool. I love the Jacoby's just right down the road now.
Oh, it is so cool to have them move to the 3rd and State area. Yeah, they're really bringing a lot of life to the district already, and they haven't even officially gotten their doors open yet. The buzz is real.
Have you been inside yet to take a look?
I've been peeking in the windows. almost every day. It is amazing the transformation they've made in there.
Well, and now, it really does something to really tie in this district a little bit more. I mean, I love Jacoby obviously being in their spot, but it's really nice to have them right here down the road. Maybe it's because I'm, selfish. I don't know.
It's a stone's throw from you now, right?
No, whenever you're going through the setup of this, even though you guys are a well-oiled machine and you have a great board and volunteers and the whole 9 yards and staff, what do you guys kind of do prep-wise as you're in that kind of calm before the storm? Because once you hit go, you guys don't stop,
That is very true. Yeah, preseason is very important. We are a very organized, well-run machine. We love our spreadsheets, and we do have a whole fleet of volunteers who are helping us with all the footwork that needs to happen leading up to it. But yeah, vendor placement is where we're at right now. Farmer Bob is actually meeting me up in my office right after this to finalize the map of where every vendor should be, so we'll be able to post that before the weekend. So yeah, a lot of background, not the exciting stuff that happens behind the scenes. It's our job to make it look like it is easy breezy and effortless when it happens.
Well, and see, what I think's so cool though is you always do, no matter what, because it is hard to put on events like this when you're bringing all these different folks in together, but when it goes off, it always seems like you never really have a hiccup. Everyone just seems to have a really good time. And just like coming down the pipeline in June is the start of night markets again.
Yes, absolutely. We are just really good at pivoting. We just roll with it. Whatever happens, we are able to figure it out. We have enough connections anymore that, if things always arise, please don't get me wrong, but when something arises, we know how to figure it out in a jiff. So.
Just like, the new spot.
Yes, we are so excited about the new home of the night market.
I'm getting all the love. You're right across the street now.
No kidding. Yeah, this is really going to be an epicenter of all the activity this summer, so we're super excited about it.
I love it, though, because night market really is one of my favorite things that you all do. It's so cool to hear the music and have the vendors, and just the aesthetic of being in downtown at night and everyone kind of coming together with their families is such a cool thing.
For sure, and this is a good opportunity to, recognize and remind everyone that we don't throw these events and these parties just for the sake of partying.
Right.
We do these events to bring people into the downtown establishments. So right now we are talking to all of the restaurants and retailers. A lot of the shops are going to extend their hours on Thursday night and stay open all evening while night market is going. So we're going to be heavily promoting that. So yeah, it's just a great opportunity for us to just, have everybody rediscover downtown. Everybody usually has their favorite spot or two, but this is a perfect opportunity to check out the live music, check out all the artist booths, and make your round all the way around the 3rd and State area.
Well, and too, there's a lot of new downtown and a lot of updates and a lot of different things for folks that maybe haven't gone for a year or two.
That is so true. There's more retail every time I turn around. We've got new art galleries opening, clothes, kitchen stuff, juicery. There's all kinds of wonderful new stuff happening downtown.
I don't own the juicery, by the way. I've been.
Do you plug them a lot? Yeah, CJ's is great.
CJ's is really
I bet you do get confused on that quite a bit.
Now, night market, when are they?
It's every Thursday night in June and July.
Wow.
We are going to take the 3rd off since that is the big fireworks extravaganza and everybody wants to be doing that with their friends and family. But it's 4 weeks in June and 4 weeks in July. Our live music schedule is on our website, so make sure to check out downtownalton.com/events, and that will tell you the dates and all the details for everything we're doing.
Well, and another thing that is so important is, like you said, you don't just put on parties and events for the public, you do things for the business owners too, like coming up is this e-commerce and marketing workshop.
Yeah, absolutely. We've really been trying to figure out how to, tap into the people who are getting it right and who are really skilled, and so they can mentor other businesses that are up and coming to help them. That is really the heart of what Main Street does. People don't really click all the time that, like the markets that we do. Each one of those tents is a small business.
Right.
We are looking to help them take their next step, whether that's to get into consigning somewhere or a cooperative arrangement somewhere, or eventually graduate to brick and mortar themselves. So, we have Madeline from Cocoa and Oak, who was an online retailer for, I think, 6 years before she even went brick and mortar. And she's got a wealth of experience. And she said, sure, I know about all the online shopping platforms. If anybody wants to get into e-commerce, let's just set something up so I can show them the ropes. So that is really generous of her to share her wisdom like that.
I love this. This is May the 13th, June 10th, and July the 8th, all at 5:30 p.m. And it's right at Cocoa and Oak, which is right next to Russ at Bossa Nova and Mac, and really becoming a nice corridor again. That's awesome.
Yep, we're excited.
What else is coming down the pipeline?
What else? Oh, we have our big car show coming up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Sunday, June 8th this year. We're going to have that's the one day of the year anymore that we actually shut the street down to traffic. Yeah. So we're going to have the car show going from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. afternoon, we have been attracting over 200 classic cars, hot rods, motorcycles.
Every bit of that. Every bit of that.
Yeah, this year we actually requested to use Sugar Alley as well, where we're having night market for some of the spillover cars, because we would really hate to turn anyone away. A lot of people drive in from states away to come to this car show.
Are you serious?
So, yes, absolutely. Wow. We take everyone's registration info, and people are coming from Kentucky, Indiana, all over the place.
That's awesome. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, people go on a circuit to these car shows, and that's kind of like their life. Some of these retirees, they just hit a whole circuit of them and then, make a loop and go back home. So it's really cool to have everybody come back together at the car show every year. And so we've got live music at that one from the Outlaw Opry. We've got a pinup contest, all kinds of great, vendors and food and things like that as well. So come out for the cars and stick around for all the rest of the fun.
Well, and also What's Up Downtown will be May 20th this year. This month and year, I guess, at the RiverBender building, and really just a great way for the public to get information too.
Absolutely. If you've never checked out What's Up Downtown, make a point to do that. It's just the energy in the room is on 11. It's everybody making great announcements, news, people sharing stuff right from the horse's mouth, so you don't have to read it second or third hand or hear it through the grapevine. It's the person that's doing it up there on stage telling you about what's happening, and great opportunity for people to just meet one another and network. We have a lot of downtown enthusiasts in this town.
Well, and honestly, it's just really cool to see the Main Street District thriving, and then really just some of the cooperation and collaboration you're doing with so many folks, around the Riverbend region at large too, and it just keeps growing and growing.
That is the exact thing that kind of came out of all of our strategic planning that we did over the summer, is we would like to really settle into that role of being the convener.
Yeah.
We bring people together in social situations, in business situations, mentor relationships. I mean, that is really what we do, is we like to be the lightning rod that just kind of attracts everyone together.
Really cool. Sarah, thanks for stopping by, and please stop by before the next events start, because we got a lot more to talk about still.
Very true. Thank you for the coverage. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. 10:15, little bit of change. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with more Daily Show right after this on RiverBender.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
But I ain't got wings.
Welcome back to Our Daily Show. 10:09. We're a minute early, but never a minute too soon to talk to Centerstone. Aaron, how are we doing today, man? Can you hear me at all, Aaron? Are we still having issues with our Zoom feature here? Huh. That is so bizarre. We're still having some issues here. Why don't we do this? We'll take one more break and we'll come back with Centerstone and see if I can clear up this audio issue we keep having right here on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Let's see if this works. Aaron, can you hear me finally? No? Oh, no. What is going on with my Zoom lately? Huh. What about this? No?
Yep.
No, there we go. All right, now we're getting there. You know, we finally have solved the Zoom issue live on the air. How about that? You know, I was kind of a little nervous, Aaron. Hey, how's everything doing?
Not too bad. How are you doing today?
I'm fighting like this weird sinus thing. I'm telling you, even my hair's given up. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, we're here now and we're getting through it. But Mental Health Awareness Month is this month, correct?
That is correct. May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
And now is Jennifer going to be joining us today?
So Jennifer is like you. She's fighting some kind of crud, so you all are stuck with just me today.
Well, that's okay, man, because, you know, you guys have a ton of things going on this month, starting today, that really do recognize the importance of raising so much awareness for, you know, such an important issue.
That's correct, yeah. So we're actually doing a lighting of the town square in Marion today, and we're going to have a proclamation reading by Mayor Absher down here. So very exciting to get this month kicked off and get out and do all these events and make sure everybody's aware about mental health and how they can help break the stigma and just show love and care for, you know, individuals in their communities.
Well, and honestly, it's been really just interesting to have, you know, you guys along for the ride for the last couple of, you know, months here, and especially last year too, to hear, you know, not only how you've impacted the region, you know, yesterday, but how you guys continue to evolve that too with so many more, you know, outreach services and ways to not only promote your services, but also, just like you said, raise awareness and kind of destigmatize, you know, these issues.
Yeah. So we're taking a look kind of at some of the stuff that we've done historically, and we're still doing some of those things, but this year we're trying to be a little more boots on the ground and get out and actually be facing with the individuals who are making decisions about their own health. because behavioral health, mental health, it's all health. It all
Right.
ties in together. So we want to make sure that they have as many resources and as much information as possible so that they can make an educated decision about where they want to go and how they want to get help.
Well, and honestly, it's one of those where we talk about it on the show, Aaron. It's knowing the information before you need to know it too, because once you go into that crisis or your loved one is or whatever that circumstance, it feels like a mountain to climb. So to have all this information ahead of time to know about this really does make so much more of a difference.
Exactly. Even if it's you don't need the services, and we hear that a lot when we're doing our outreach. People will come up and say, luckily I don't need substance use help or mental health or anything like that. But the problem is that falls into the stigma of what we're trying to break around,
Right.
the information with what we're doing. It may not affect you personally, but you may never know who's around you who may need services or who is struggling. So that's a lot of the reason why we try to make sure we're giving out as many resources and information as possible, so that even if you're not suffering, you can still go and help your neighbor or your friend or your family member who may be suffering.
Well, and honestly, it's one of those things too, where it seems like the ones that kind of that say that are the ones that haven't had that moment yet. Which according to any bit of data, that will be touching almost all of our lives in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not directly, but through a loved one, a family member, or friend.
Exactly. And I mean, that's the thing with educating the communities, whether it's us or another community partner, and depending on what events and stuff that we're doing, is just making sure that our communities just know that there's groups that are out there that want to help and want to make sure that even if you're not living with a situation right now, if at some point in your life something changes, you know who to go to and who's out there to be able to help you.
100%. And in your role, has it gotten easier to find your guys' kind of partner organizations and your guys' collaborators? Because it does seem like, down here anyway in Alton, that, or maybe up here, depending on where you're located, because I'm not good at geography, Aaron, but, it's one of those where we're getting a lot more, mental health resource fairs, health fairs in general, and also just more organizations that recognize the need for this.
Yeah, and we work very well with a lot of our community partners. I mean, there's still a lot out there that we may not know about.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that we did this year, is we kind of put a call to action out so that those community partners that we haven't met with have an opportunity to be able to meet with us and be able to interact with the same communities that we are through, like our resource pop-up fairs, or even the resource wellness fairs that we're going to be doing this year. So it just, we're all family. Even though people will look at us as we're competing against each other, we
Mhm.
really are just all family. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our communities.
Well, and honestly, I think that's where you see such a change and if you like we use the word innovative, health in healthcare, and innovation. That's really the innovation, because it's not this competition anymore. It's really just see a need, fill a need, and it's great to see the community partners like you guys who are larger coming together and saying, here's how we're going to collaborate, make it better for the entire region.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of coalitions and committees that
Mhm.
are out there that even the community can be a part of. One of them that comes to mind is ROSC, which stands for the Recovery Oriented System of Care. So there's different ROSCs that are throughout the state of Illinois, different regions for them, but they're great because us as organizations, we come together with individuals who are what we call PLEs, so people with lived
Yeah.
experience. So they kind of lead those meetings, and then us as the resources, we're there to basically help support them, and let them know about information that they can then go and take back to their communities that they're in, and kind of be that guiding light for those individuals who are needing help outside of who we're reaching as a resource.
Well, and honestly, too, as we're going to start talking about some of these events, and we'll talk about tonight here in a second. Sydney was just in the studio last week or the week before talking about how many people were at your music or your Glow Bingo event.
Yes.
And just to hear that, where you guys, I mean, you all have a tough job. I mean, whether you're a partner or you're, hands on at Centerstone or you're working in admin, or if you're just a community partner or, a participant at Centerstone, there's a lot of work involved from every spoke of the wheel. So to have those nights have got to be really cool for you guys.
It is. And, for us and all the staff that are involved with Centerstone, whether they're the ones who are on the front line and actually working with the clients and patients that are coming in,
Mhm.
or like myself and Jennifer, who are kind of in the background, that you may not see as much unless we're out at events. It does take every single one of us, even from the janitor who's
Right.
helping keep the facilities clean, all the way up to Anne, who's our CEO. There are so many people who make the magic happen, and without them, we wouldn't be where we're at. We wouldn't be able to do the things that we're getting to do this year. So, there's a lot of kudos to that other staff that is out there and doing the hard work.
100%. And these events that you all do with the different community partners too, and different communities around your guys's network are really special. Like tonight, when you have this recognition, has this been something that's been ongoing for you, or is this a new partnership and new event that you guys are utilizing?
So this is actually with the city of Marion. This is our second year
Okay.
doing this with them. And, we hope to do this annually, so that we give individuals an opportunity to come out and hear other stories. Just for example, tonight, I'll actually be one of the speakers and sharing about my life and living
Wow.
with depression, and, how I went and got help, because not everybody, wants to go get help. I know for me, I'm mid 40s.
Yeah.
I was raised in a generation that was suck it up or just deal with it.
Right. Well, and
So that's a lot of what we're trying to break with mental health awareness, and not even just in the month of May. I mean, it's every day we have to break the stigma and make people feel like that they have a place that they can go, or just even having an open ear to listen to them when they are having issues.
Well, and honestly, Aaron, I think especially when it comes to days like or months like this, and days and events like this throughout the month of May, especially when you're talking about something like depression and you're because a lot of times I feel like it's public when we think about mental health and we think about maybe crisis points, we don't think about the day to day mental health struggles that we all go through that add up to equal to that bigger unfortunate bad day or bad few, kind of days. So to talk about this and hear from somebody's perspective like yours, who is actively, I mean, working a professional job, you have a life and all of these things, it could help anybody going, man, I'm just getting kicked around and I don't know how to get up and start walking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the biggest thing is when you hear these stories, it's you have to keep in mind that mental health is health.
Right.
I mean, like, if you don't take care of your mental health, it will cause other issues. It's the same thing. Like, if you don't brush your teeth, it's going to cause other issues. So, if you're not taking care of your mental health, and you have medical issues that are going on, they may coincide with each other. So it may be a great opportunity now to take a look and get some help, for your mental health.
Well, and too for folks that are doing the same thing, like I've done, and that you've just kind of acknowledged you've done, as you go now, just you fake it till you make it, put it on your shoulder, and you walk forward. You got to toughen it up. It's one of those where if you hear those stories, hopefully it gets you a little bit more of some insights before you decide to keep piling it on. Because I mean, we've both been in that situation and know what that feels like, and maybe to help somebody younger out there or somebody who's new to kind of feeling this sort of way, it's gonna help them a lot.
It is. And, I was talking to Stephanie Duckworth, who's one of our VPs here
Hmm.
with Centerstone. She's going to be one of the speakers tonight here in Marion also. And we had kind of a discussion through email, and we are talking about youth. Youth is a a huge group that is being affected by mental health issues. And it seems, I mean, it happened before COVID,
Yeah.
but COVID really brought out a lot of the issues and stuff that we needed to focus on. And youth and what's going on with their mental health is a big thing that, we need to focus and talk about, because these are our kids. This is who's going to be our leaders,
Right.
coming up in the future. So if we're not taking care of them and getting their mental health correct, then, what is our future going to look like down the road?
It's so interesting you brought that up, because I was at Alton High School the other day and we were doing the career fair remote. And just to hear, I mean, how COVID really did impact them. I mean, it was one of those things that, I mean, it wasn't a direct question of mine, because, we're almost, 4 years out from COVID, and we're
Mhm.
getting by it. So I didn't think about it. But, when I'm asking them about, what's your school experience like, COVID really did have a toll on the education side of things, but also on the flip side. I mean, Aaron, you and I both know you had kids that were in terrible home settings, and individuals that couldn't, leave because of lockdowns and things that we had to do. It's not a, criticizing, point to make. It's just one that's a real one. And the effect on that, I'm sure, is going to be studied for decades.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, COVID showed us a whole lot of issues that weren't necessarily into the forefront of
Yeah.
what we were looking at prior to COVID. So, for as bad as COVID was, it really kind of gave us a great opportunity to now be able to focus on those things that we were shown through COVID or from COVID,
Right.
and be able to now start taking care of those issues and making them a primary focus on how we can help our communities and get them to grow and become healthier.
I've never asked you this, I don't think, but is it one of those with COVID and with the pandemic that you had such a more of a national conversation about this, and really an international conversation about mental health, that did it make it easier for you guys to start obtaining objectives because of those conversations, and because of some of I guess the normality of it all that it was becoming?
I think it gave us a great opportunity to look at things, and it
Okay.
probably did paint a very good picture for, our clinical staff. I know for me, I was not with Centerstone at the time
Right.
during COVID. I was actually on a flip side. I was in the insurance side of things with a managed care organization. So even then, with working in a call center, you still heard a lot of the issues that were going on. We had an emergency crisis line, so
Gotcha.
individuals would call in, like, "Hey, I want to run away from home." Like I would get that call, or "I need mental health help. Where can I go? Where will my insurance pay for this?" And that's one of the kind of great things that I noticed whenever I worked for the managed care organization, is that Illinois actually did a great job about trying to focus on the mental health side of people's lives, especially with those on the managed care, because a lot of people who we label as being underprivileged, they need a lot of help too.
Yeah.
Like if they're displaced, find themselves with substance use disorders or any other type of behavioral health disorder, COVID brought that out. So now that gives us the opportunity to look at it and see what we can do.
Well, and it's interesting to hear you talk about it a little bit, just because you guys have really made such an impact, I think, especially in the last couple of years, with really raising, we keep using that term, raising awareness, but it's truly what it is. It's not, it's marketing, but it's really just raising an important discussion publicly about, some of the issues that are going on, and the ways that you guys can help address those concerns in those situations. And so coming up tonight, what time does this run, just in case we have some folks that kind of are interested to learn a little bit more?
Sure. So the lighting of Tower Square Plaza in Marion will start at 6:30 tonight. We'll
Mhm.
run it till about 7:30. Just want to be aware of everybody's evenings with it being a Wednesday, but excuse me. I do want to give a lot of thanks to the city of Marion for working with us on this initiative. Mayor Absher, he does a great job of making sure that the city's involved with community resources,
Mhm.
so that, each of us get an opportunity to be out there and showcase what we can do, and then just letting the communities know, like, hey, the city of Marion is here for you. So if you need anything, you can come to us at the city, or you can come to any of our resources that we're working with.
Really cool. And then you're also going to be having a Mental Health Awareness Month proclamation in Alton coming up on the 15th, correct?
Correct. So Mayor David Goins is going to be at our facility in Alton. So for those of you who don't know where that is, that's located at 2615 Edward Street in Alton, Illinois. But he will be there at 3 p.m. on Thursday, May 15th, and he's going to do a proclamation reading for the mental health awareness. So we're excited to have him on our campus doing that. I believe right now we're planning on that being an outside event, as long as Mother Nature doesn't try to like blow us away or
It is
freeze us,
May.
or and so, but yeah, I mean, we would love to see everybody there. And even with that being the Metro East, if you live across the river, please come over. This
Oh,
is for
yeah.
everybody. It's not just Illinois people. We want to make sure that we share the information with everybody. 988 is a national wide initiative and number that you can call to get help. So it's not just in Illinois, it's not in just Missouri. So all of these events that are going on, please go to any of them.
Well, you're right. And, we were just having on an organization, Foster's Light in the Dark. I don't know if you heard of them, Aaron. They're, Christina, and I love her mission to this. And, it's about hearing how so many people come. I mean, the last time we're coming from multiple states away, because it's not a boundary situation when you're trying to get and be a part of a group that only understands what, maybe or empathizes what you're going through, because you aren't going to be able to get that same connection, just by walking into the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, to your example, yeah, I mean, it would be weird to talk to somebody in the grocery store,
That's true.
because most people are private, and we get that, but this gives you an opportunity with these events to be around others who have gone through a lot of what you've gone through, or just to be around people who just want to show love and care because they care about their communities. I know back in September, I did another event that I spoke at where I began the speech with, I'm in recovery. And honestly, all of our communities are in recovery. Every single one of us are in recovery, because it touches us all, whether you're blind to it or you're right in the middle of it, it is affecting us all. So until, we heal our communities, we all are in recovery.
100%. And, I really like the way that you're wrapping up the month of May, too, by having a really good community celebration with this Mental Health Awareness Night at Grizzlies Park, Wednesday, May the 28th, games at 6:30 p.m. Fill me in on this.
Yeah, so this is our first year. We're working with the Gateway Grizzlies to host the Mental Health Awareness Evening. So they are playing on May 28th. The gates open at 5:30. Game starts at 6:30. They'll be playing the Florence Yalls. But we have a whole lot that's going to be going on that evening. We have the opportunity to come out and just be able to share stories and meet with other people at our tailgate that we'll have before the game. And then during the game, you'll actually get to hear from some of our leaders, go to one of our tables that we're going to have set up. So there's a lot of opportunity. And if you want to buy tickets, that information is actually out on the Grizzlies website. And I can share it with you also, so you can put it on the RiverBender site.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
the ticket sales will actually go back to Centerstone, so we do get a portion of the ticket sales. So that does help us also. We're doing the night because people need it, but it helps us with getting those donations coming back and helping with all the other services and everything out there too. And if you just want something comical to come out and look at, this 45-year-old man is going to be throwing out one of the first pitches.
Oh, there you go.
Make it to or make it to home plate. I might not. Who knows?
Are you a baseball guy?
I'm a sports guy.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
So there is some pressure on you then with this first pitch then, if you're a sports guy.
Well, I don't know if I'm more worried about tripping on my way to the mound or just not getting the ball anywhere close to home plate.
Aaron, man, it's always great talking to you, and it's been a pleasure as we continue to talk with Centerstone too. Oh, and then really, as we keep going more, get closer and closer to these dates, let us know. We'll feature them on the calendar so we can make sure that the community and our area knows more about them.
Yeah, most definitely. And a big one that y'all will want to definitely put on your calendar is going to be July 19th.
Oh.
In the Alton YWCA, we'll be hosting our first resource fair in the
cool.
Alton area.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at some of the vendors who have been signing up, and Jennifer has done a great job. It looks fantastic. I know the St. Louis Food Bank just actually signed up, so that's a huge draw right there.
Did you want me to do a remote there?
Yeah, you would be able to do a remote.
I
I actually had you on my list to talk to you about that. So
it sounds like a perfect opportunity. I mean, sorry to do business on the air, folks, but I just thought, what the heck, we can talk about it. I mean, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. And July 19th is on a Thursday, correct? No, it's on a Saturday.
Should be a Saturday, yeah.
That's the third Saturday in July. Okay, yeah, we can make that work for sure, Aaron. For sure. But, seriously, guys, I hope you really have tuned in and gotten to get some details, especially about this proclamation reading in May, and then all of the wonderful ways that Centerstone's recognizing this month. And if you or somebody you know is struggling, make sure you gather this information, because you never know when you need to know it until you need to know it. And like Aaron's hit on and so many of the other Centerstone interviews, this is an all-encompassing issue that touches every aspect of life. And Aaron, thank you so much for stopping by. And is there anything else before I say goodbye for now?
No, just thank you for having me and having us on the show, and just let's heal our communities. Let's break the stigma and take care of each other.
Man, I like that slogan. That should be, I like that a lot. Let's heal our communities. Aaron, thank you so much. I'll see you in Alton on May the 15th for sure.
Sounds great. You have a great day.
We'll take a quick break. 10:37, a little bit of change, more Daily Show next.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
no matter the season. Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Oh, I'm late. Daily Show, 10:40. A little bit of change on this Wednesday morning. Tamara, sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I was like, wait, do I have the right day? Am I on the right? Like, I'm always,
It's normally a CJ problem, How's everything going for you on this Wednesday?
Everything's great. The sun is out. Life is good.
And it's really just beautiful outside. I mean, this is a day to go get sick and play golf,
And have ice cream.
Well, and of course have ice cream, 100%. I've been really excited to talk with you about Clementines, and really, I was just on your website, and I love this Great Gatsby theme y'all got going on right now.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been really fun.
Well, and now take me through, if you could, a little bit of Clementine's story a bit, and then, we have all these locations popping up, you're shipping nationwide, and life's looking great.
Yeah. I'm so blessed every day to be able to make people happy in all the wonderful neighborhoods that we serve. I've been making ice cream my whole life since I was a kid.
Wow.
And ice cream changed my life and gave me this incredible sense of community, and I never forgot that. And it was a tradition that we upheld in our household for many years that my mom did until she passed away. And then that's something I kind of took over, and it kind of just became my adult hobby and passion, right? And I ended up working in the food industry. And after 20 years of that, I kind of said, I don't want to do that anymore. Kind of want to take my life back into my own hands and go do something on my own. And that thing was to make ice cream for my neighborhood.
That's so well, and see, that's what I think is so unique about this too, because especially, when people are talking about finding their passion, I think sometimes they get discouraged by what that specific passion or what that love or whatever it is could be. And, just like something like ice cream, that would make me nervous, a little bit, just to be honest with you. But with everything and all the stories and that personal connection you have, did that propel you to you think the success of Clementine's today?
Yeah, I think when you follow your authentic person, being, soul, desire, whatever that was, it becomes easier, right? Because they say you never work another day in your life when you love what you do. And literally, I love making ice cream. I've loved making ice cream 10 years ago. We're about on our 10-year anniversary. I still love making ice cream and making people happier. I just get to do it at like a much bigger scale now because we have more parlors and we've been able to grow. But it gives my life this like really incredible purpose, right? It's not just about ice cream, it's purpose too.
Right. Well, and honestly, as you reflect on those 10 years too, and that's what I find. Do you remember day one? Whenever you're, I gotta ask you, I know it's kind of one of those softball ones, but day one for 10 years for Clementine's has got to be fascinating.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other day, because May 17th will be our 10-year anniversary from opening our first parlor.
Wow.
Um, and I was so scared that day. I was nervous. It was, I really believed that, if you build it, they will come, right? I was so passionate about what I was doing, and it had to work. Because I put my whole heart and soul and savings and 401k and you name it, like, into this. And so there was no fail. There was just going to be. But I was so excited. I was so exhausted and I was so excited. And I remember opening the door and there were people in line waiting. And I was just like, wow, like this is real. I'm following my dreams. Yeah, it was pretty magical. I just hope people will come because I tell people all the time, I would never recommend this today, but the day I opened my first parlor, I only had $29 left in my bank account.
No kidding. And see, that's what I find so fascinating because you said,
I
you
was too dumb to know any better. I mean, like, for being such a smart woman who ran a $70 million business before I jumped off the cliff to start my own company, I look back and go, boy, was I dumb. But you get there and you're in it and you do it.
Well, and see, that's where it's one of those where you can't fail, and like you said, you have to win, and that's where I think so many people get scared sometimes. And I know I want to talk about the 10 years and ways you're celebrating here too, but just this is so fascinating because we have the Riverbend CEO group that I go and speak with once a year with the students that want their own businesses, and the hangup's always that fear of what if, and it's not really a what if, it's a have to. And I think that's the mindset that so many people need to have.
Well, and I say there is no try, there's just do,
Yeah.
right? As Yoda would say. Um, very wise man. That I mean, before I even opened my parlor, it was the holidays because my parlor didn't get open till May, and I needed revenue, and I went to all the people that I knew that were having fancy Christmas parties that lived in the big houses in my neighborhood. And I said, I will bring all the ice cream for your Christmas party if you just let me put out a sign up sheet where people could order pints for me and that I
Wow.
could then sell them and deliver it. So literally, I went door to door to all the big houses and I said, hi, my name is Tamara Keefe. I'm going to open an ice cream parlor in the neighborhood. This is what I want to do, but I've got to make some revenue. And, I was like that door to door salesperson, so to speak. I was like, if you let me come to your Christmas party and pitch and give free ice cream, like I would appreciate it. And like literally that's what you do. So in those moments there is no fail. You just figure it out. You just get creative and you say, "Okay, how can I get the word out about my ice cream? How can I get more sales?" Right? How do I get that? And you just do it. And so there is that ethic of yeah, it's you have to.
Well,
You just have to.
and honestly, I think that's what resonates so much too, and why you've been able to keep these going. I mean, I know I drive by the Edwardsville location just in our area, and it just seems like so many people have started to call that place home, and I mean that in a way where you're right. Ice cream has a unique bond with folks. Where it could be 40 years, but they're going back to that same ice cream stand that they were going with Grandpa.
Yeah, and I think, ice cream is the most emotional food product that there
Oh,
is.
for sure. You know how many times I have
Absol
ugly cried with a bowl. I'll be honest. It's all good.
Well, or it's your first memory with
Right.
family or, whatever that is, like, there's this emotion tied into ice cream for
Hmm.
people. And so it's beautiful, but it's also this, like, massive responsibility, right?
Right.
Because we have to make sure that every time you come in and you have this amazing experience, you're creating amazing memories, just like I had growing up.
Well, and see, I think that's what's so special about the spot too, and all the parlors, because you really do get that sense when you walk in that you are trying to make it feel like it's a unique thing because it's a public venue, but when you go in, you personalize it so much, with that kind of atmosphere that you feel like it's kind of just made for you.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. We definitely are definitely part of the communities that we serve, right? We're definitely a local business.
Well, and when you were first starting, what was your kind of goal when it came to that community connection and when it came to collaboration? Was that even on the focus yet? Was it just, when you're starting out, hey, let's just get this going and then let's connect, or was that always on the forefront of your mind?
Yeah, I think we've always been like super collaborative,
Hmm.
and it was a way to get our name out, in groups and circles of people that I didn't have any recognition in. So collaboration was really key for me to get my ice cream in front of a lot of people. And then we just found that it was just a great way to do business, right? We love our collaborations. We love getting out there in the community. I think it makes the difference between we're not just an ice cream shop, we're really your neighborhood parlor,
Yeah.
right? And so we really connect with our guests and our our team. We call it the Clementine. Um, it just makes it such a difference.
Right. Well, and as you're celebrating 10 years, what are you guys kind of reflecting on it and looking to do to kind of mark the occasion? Because this is a big, big deal.
Yeah, no, we're excited. I mean, we have all kind of events happening. We're launching a vinyl record. We all these local bands. We had them write songs about ice cream, and so we're like the first ice cream company to like do a record. So that's really cool. We're launching the record. We're gonna have specials and promotions, um, all throughout the day and the week, and just so many different activities every day. It feels like for the month.
Well, and how can the public and community kind of celebrate with you? I saw the birthday cake flavor that was out on your Facebook.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's so delicious too. Oh my gosh. Self-admittedly, I wasn't always a fan of like birthday cake flavored ice creams because I don't think people have ever done them well. And so I really challenged my
That's
team.
so true. Not to cut you off, but I get so angry whenever it's a birthday cake flavor. It's like, why am I doing this to myself?
I know. And so I told the team, I said, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. And we're going to make an amazing birthday cake flavor ice cream. And the team did it. They have knocked it out of the park. It is so delicious. It's really good. But if you follow us on our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, go to our website. Um, it's, it's easy to connect with us in so many
Oh,
different
yeah.
ways. And come to the parlors. Come try all the new flavors. Come try that birthday cake flavor. It's really, really delicious.
Well, I have a couple of more questions for you, Tamara, and this is one I know you've been asked like hundreds of times, and I just have to get this out for me personally. So the classical music, was that with the cows? I got to ask you, like, how did that come to be? Was that something that the farm does that you guys just kind of thought, what a great idea, and this is who we want to partner with? Or just take me through that kind of aspect of this alone, because I love it.
Yeah, no, so it's actually a great story. So I really wanted to get to know who some of our dairy farmers were because we work with a local co-op in Illinois.
Okay.
Um, and I wanted to go spend a weekend at one of the dairy farms and I wanted to get put to work and I wanted to see what it was like. They say, oh, they're pasture raised and grass fed. And I wanted to find out, like, is it really? Or are you just telling me that to
Right.
make me feel better, right? And charge me a premium. So, so I coordinated it and I went out to one of our dairy farmers that we use, and I stayed the whole weekend. And I went to work, and I'm so glad to be on this side because being a dairy farmer is hard work.
I wouldn't
I'm not
last. I wouldn't last.
No, I barely lasted for 4 days. And I'm not afraid to like get my hands dirty. But getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and busting your ass all day. So sorry. Can I
No,
say that?
you're fine. Yeah, no,
Okay,
I'll pass on. I'll pass on that too, though. I mean, that's why I host a talk show.
That's right. And so when I was first getting there and they were walking me around the farm, I said, "Oh, what's in this barn?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that's where all of our baby cows are kept." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Can I see?" And so they took me in there and literally they have classical music playing throughout this whole farm and they are bottle feeding all these baby cows.
That is amazing. It's like a nursery, a for real nursery.
For real nursery. And I was like, "Well, why do you do that?" And they're like, "Well, because the first, year of a cow's life is super." It was no different than those early years of children and infants and toddlers of, how you don't want them to be stressed because they produce better milk and their bodies form better and all. And I was so impressed. I was like, okay, this is like the real deal. And I do believe we have the best ice cream in the country because of how and where we source all of our milk and cream from these really small family dairy farmers who treat their they are all pasture raised and grass fed and not fed soy, any of that stuff. And they do roam, like literally, like I would take the cows out in the morning and you have to bring them back in at the end of the day. And you gotta they're really happy cows. and you taste the difference, right?
Well, and
big industrial dairies that don't where their cows are raised in a pen and never exercise and never get out and never feed on grass. Like it's a different product.
100%, and it makes so much sense that you say that on the quality difference, no matter what part of the animal you're utilizing, and it's great that for this, it's just it's taken care of from start to finish that really matches exactly what you guys have always been about. And before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about some of the specialty flavors right now, and then some of the other stuff on the website. But the last big question for you is, you have had national news recognition, and you've been featured on a few different platforms. What's it mean for you? Is that kind of just almost like a spark, a fuse lighter, if you would, to kind of propel you for a little bit? Because it seems like regardless of if you had a million people watching you on the air on, CBS, or if you had nobody, watching you on YouTube videos, it seems like it wouldn't change for you.
No, I mean, anytime we get press and national press, it's great for our business because it's great for the city, right? It's great for our area that we're getting national
Right.
recognition for doing something good and
Right.
positive in the world, and that's really, really important. But it helps business too, because people will hear about us. They'll hear about us in Chicago, and then the next thing you know, we're in the parlors that weekend, and they're like, "Oh, we saw you on national TV, and we decided to take a road trip and come to St. Louis for the weekend, and we wanted to try your ice cream, and what a fun thing to do." And so all those things really does help, right? It really does help when you tell all your family and friends that we have this amazing local ice cream. Our goal is to be the destination of choice in every city that we're in, right? So I want you to say anytime anyone comes to Edwardsville, like, "Oh, the one place we have to take you is Clementine's," right?
Right.
Because you're so proud that you have such a great little local ice cream spot that is guaranteed that everyone will love.
Well, and right now, and Tamara, before I let you go, great conversation, by the way, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. Sorry for being a little late again. What
That's
are
all right.
we know about Edwardsville and some of the St. Louis locations, but if you could you fill our audience in for all the different parlor locations, just in case they're tuning in from St. Charles or wherever they are in the Metro East today?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have our first location is in Lafayette Square. Our second location is in DeMun in Clayton. Our third location is in South City on Macklin. Our fourth location was Lake St. Louis. We also have Kirkwood. We have Central West End. We have Town and Country, and our beloved Edwardsville.
I love it. Thank you so much, Tamara. And before I let you go, Great Gatsby themed. How do we get our hands on these? Because I saw it on your website, and I just think it's the coolest thing ever.
You can order it on Goldbelly online. That can be shipped anywhere in the country if you want to send it to someone as a gift, or come into any of our parlors.
Really cool. And then one last question on your specialty menu items. What's the new one that you're kind of liking the most right now?
Definitely our birthday cake ice cream.
Is it? Okay, that's fair. Tamara, thanks so much for stopping by. You're welcome to join us and fill us in whenever you guys have something new coming down the pipeline. But happy 10-year anniversary, and thanks for all you're doing
Thank
for the
you.
Metro East.
Thank you so much. Make it a delicious one.
See ya. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with more Daily Show. Wrap up this Wednesday right after this on Riverbender.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
RiverBender.com.
This is what she said. Oh, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay. I got mouths to feed. It ain't nothing.
Welcome back. Man, I'm telling you what, though. I don't know if it's the weather or what I did. Who I angered. Whom I angered. Is it whom or who? I don't have time for that today. But, I'm just telling you, like, the last 2 days have been, like, the sinus, and I get it. Remember, I get this, like, once a year, and I was feeling lucky because I thought, God dang, this is the 1 year you didn't get smoked with, like, a 3-week sinus infection. Not today. I feel like I'm on the tail end, and I was just not trying to acknowledge what was going on. But that's okay. Hey, we had a good show today. I'm feeling positive about it. A lot of good energy here. A lot of positive energy. I'm out of time. Hey, back here tomorrow with more Daily Show. Brian Trust, You're Beautiful is on tomorrow at 2 as well. You have a great rest of your afternoon. It's beautiful out there. Enjoy it. Most importantly, try your best to stay out of jail.